Chapter 11-7 notes the Pythagorean theorem, which only works on right triangles, triangles that have a 90-degree angle. Okay, in this drawing of a right triangle, there's a leg, and then the hypotenuse is directly across from the 90-degree angle. So the hypotenuse C is always directly across from the 90-degree angle. So the Pythagorean theorem states that a squared plus b squared equals c squared, or the leg squared plus the leg squared equals the hypotenuse squared. Okay, so we're going to find the missing length of the right triangle to the nearest thousandths. So based on the formula, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. C is the hypotenuse because it's directly across from the 90 degree. We have 4 squared plus 5 squared equals c squared. 4 squared is 16 plus 5 squared, which is 25, equals c squared. Okay, I'm going to bring the c squared to the left side. C squared equals 16 plus 25 is 41. Okay, to undo squaring, c squared, remember we want c. Right now we have c squared. So to undo squaring, you take the square root of both sides. This is like when you're multiplying. To undo multiplication, you divide. If you're adding, to undo adding, you subtract. Okay, so to undo squaring, you take the square root. So now we just get regular c equals the square root of 41, but it wants us to round to the nearest thousandths. So the square root of 41 to the nearest thousandths is 6.403. Okay, so our exact answer equals square root of 41, and our approximate answer, which is why it has a squiggly equals, is 6.403. Okay, in example 2, we have a right triangle. I have the A is 1, the B we don't know, and the hypotenuse is square root of 7. So we're going to do 1 squared plus B squared equals the square root of 7 squared. Okay, that gives us 1 squared is 1 plus b squared. And if you take the square root of 7 and square it, you get 7. And that's because the square undoes the square root. So if you do it on your calculator, square root of 7 to the second power gives you back 7. Okay, now we want b squared, so we're going to subtract the 1 because we want just a b squared by itself. So b squared equals 6, because 7 minus 1 is 6. We're going to take the square root of both sides, and then we get b equals the square root of 6 is the exact answer. And if you do square root of 6 on the calculator, rounded to the nearest thousandths, it's 2.449. Okay, example 3. Which one is the C, 11 or 14? Well, C would be the 14 because it's directly across from the right angle. So then we do a squared plus 11 squared equals 14 squared. That gives us a squared plus 11 squared is 121. 14 squared is 196. We want a by itself, so we're going to subtract 121. We get a squared equals a squared equals 75. Okay, now we take the square root of both sides, and we get the answer a equals the square root of 75, but rounded to the nearest thousandths, that's approximately 8.660.